mixed with confusion, our own personal faith is unreliable. And we've seen from time to time those boast in their own personal faith, or shall we say, or I'm sorry, and we've seen from time to time those who boast in their own personal faith are, shall we say it, boasting. Oh my. And and verse 27 puts boasting in a light that is less than admirable. Again, if you're looking for something, you tend to see it even where it does not exist. You hear that, girls? Those who want to boast in their own law keeping works, their own experience, and own opinion, will see the phrase the law of faith in verse 28 and somehow drag us back to a boasting in our doings and not the doings of God. You see, God raised Christ from the dead. See Romans 1 through 4. And this is a major part of the evangel of God concerning his son, but it includes the making of all the dead alive in the son. We know this because the word dead in verse 4 is plural. The resurrection of the died ones, Dubar, translation. If the law of faith is about the doings of man, we have every reason to doubt God and God's Aeonian purpose. But if the law of faith is about what God and Christ accomplish, hold on. But if the law of faith is, it's the duck throwing me off. It's okay though, I've got it. But if the law of faith is about what God and Christ accomplish, that will become obvious to one and all. Kind of like the law of gravity cannot be challenged, changed, or modified. Then rejoice, brothers and sisters. God, who raises our Lord Jesus Christ, will do so with us as well. And more, we will even get a body like his glorious body. Romans 3. Where then is boasting? It is debarred. Through what law? Of works? No, but through faith's law. For we are reckoning a man to be justified by faith apart from works of law. Or is he the God of the Jews only? Is he not the nations also? Yes, of the nations also. If so, that God is one. Where then is boasting? Should be our clarion call to let us know when we're being addressed to buy. Let me read this again. This is good. I'm too excited. Where then is boasting? Should be our clarion call to let us know when we're being addressed to by one of the enemies of the cross. They will boast in their belief, and they are sure their belief or faith saves them, but not you. They somehow turn their personal faith or belief into a must do action in order to really stand before God. Just, oh my, where then is boasting? It is debarred. And then it says, through what law? A clear rhetorical besmirching of the very word law, which Paul has been doing for 3 chapters now. And finally, he gives us this phrase, the law of faith, or faith's law. Until now, Romans 1 through 3:28, the law was used strictly as a reference to the doings of man. Now, Paul uses the word law in an ironic play on words to take us all to the next level of understanding of the plan and doings of God himself. Faith's law is not dependent on man, not the religious man, not the sinning man. Justification is the work of God. God will justify God. Romans 3, 4, 5 through 18. Go look it up if you don't believe me. God will justify man. Romans 3:28 and 5:18. God will justify life itself. Romans 5:18. P.S. Note, to quote Dean Huff, our faith could never be the source of a revelation of divine righteousness. The righteousness of God is made known by means of Christ's perfect faith and his unparalleled faithfulness in dying for our sake, for the sake of unrighteous enemies and irreverent sinners. Ace, 9:40 a.m. from the Near Point of the mountain.
Why, thank you.
That was good. I didn't hear that this morning. That was the first time I heard it.
Yeah, you got that good baritone reading voice.
It's my throat cancer. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I got it too, so you can understand my plight.
Yeah,
I can
you always
understand
find a better
yours.
story. There's always something good in everything.
Yeah. At least I can still speak today. I'll have to learn sign language here soon, Ace.
I'm an
On
expert
the
on that.
ACO show and just be doing this to everybody. Holding up signs, flashcards.
Hey, I'm
Morning,
looking over
JG.
here. I'm looking over here real quick in the comments just because of my selfish need for this frequency thing. It looks like this John Bevans sounds like he knows maybe. I don't know if he's just being funny. But man, anyone wants to let me know, boys, put it in the comments where I start looking or whatever. Or if you need money to build one or something like that and you know how to do it. It's complicated. Yeah, I saw
Hello,
that.
JG.
Too. Thank you.
So, hello, JG and Beckel in the chat and everyone.
Hello, gentlemen. What's happening? Great
Now,
topic.
JG, don't you be offended. I want to tell you right now, and it's coming soon. It has nothing to do with you. Maybe. I mean, I don't know, and it hasn't happened yet. But I did say that I got to skedaddle here pretty soon.
Go on, get boy. Great topic today. Where you say Tommy hasn't popped in?
He was here earlier.
Okay, because I know he's been wanting to talk about this for a long time. I like the ending there. The Romans, the 3 verses from Romans. You want to pull those back up for a second? It's right before your PS note.
Man, that's one of the best lures you've made in the last several months, Ace. Fast.
Is this a Sunday church service? Because I'm a little concerned.
Yeah,
It's like,
right
it's like
there.
as you walked into a living room with a bunch of family and kin sitting around and good neighbors down the street. We're having coffee, some biscuits on the table. And you're welcome.
What's up, Jamie?
I just want to make sure we're not keeping the false Sabbath here on this gathering here on this day, because I wouldn't want to be under the law of sin and death. That
It's okay.
works-based salvationists, because I'm under the law of faith and not the law of God.
And I just politely let you know, just so you didn't feel like I was leaving because you showed up, that that's the reason why. And you called me little boy, which I appreciate. I'm 55, and man, every compliment of youth is a joy. So you're good.
Yeah, I was saying these verses here, great verses regarding the law of faith, and I actually wanted to ask Wildheart what he thought about these verses. Do you have anything to say about these verses, Wildheart?
Obviously, I can put on my Christian hat. Are you looking for an atheist view or kind of what you're looking for?
Well, we want your worldview. What do you think about these verses?
Yeah. God will justify God. Yeah, I don't believe God exists, so yeah. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. So you were saying yesterday that you'd come to certainty about 2 + 2 = 4. So that was a breakthrough. Becoming more certain every day.
Yeah, but that's certainty within a certainty, if you know what I mean.
No,
Like if I'm a brain in a vat, then maths wouldn't necessarily exist. So I'm still not 100% certain that 2 + 2 = 4.
Oh,
There
really?
could be, yeah.
Did you ever tell your math teacher?
Yeah, I was actually quite good at maths for some reason. Yeah.
I mean, you've told your math teacher that you'll put 2 and 2 equals 4 on the paper, but deep down, you got issue with it.
I wasn't that philosophical, to be honest, that long ago.
Yeah. All right. So
You know what I do? Can I just interrupt really quick? I want to hand it back to you, Jay. The way I understand 2 + 2 is 4 is I take 2 sets of 2 and then I make them one set and then I count them, and then it seems like it's 4.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like maths is the closest you can get to certainty because we define everything. We define 2, we define plus, we define 4.
Well,
We
hold on.
define
Hold on there,
equals.
cowboy.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Cool, you hear
You've
this?
gone from being certain of existence, and then you're smuggling in we and I. How did you get there?
What do you mean we and I? No, I act like the
You
world
said that
exists.
you're certain that existence is happening.
Something no, the only thing I'm certain of is that something exists. You keep getting that wrong.
So how do you know that? If you don't exist, how do you know that?
Because if nothing existed, then nothing would be happening.
Yeah, but you're saying you know something. What is the you in this equation? Because you haven't pointed that out yet. You're
All right, I don't know that I am. Therefore, yeah, I'm just saying that something is having an experience. Therefore, something must exist.
How are you perceiving that?
But that's what I'm saying. If there was nothing, then there will be nothing to perceive anything.
I'm
So the
asking
fact
about the you in this equation. You're smuggling yourself in somehow, the perceiver.
No, I'm not saying me personally. I'm just saying that something is perceiving something. Otherwise, this wouldn't, like, nothing would be happening.
Oh, you're not
happening.
saying that?
Sorry?
You're not saying that?
No, I'm saying something must be happening.
So
Otherwise,
you're
nothing
saying
would be happening.
you're saying something else now.
No, I'm saying that something exists.
You
I
keep
could be
saying
wrong
I'm
about one.
saying. You keep saying I'm saying. How are you smuggling in the I?
That's just a semantic, linguistical
Is it?
thing.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's no I.
Where else would you put it?
There's no I.
Right. All someone can know is that something exists. It's linguistical. It's a yeah.
What about solipsism?
You've gone from something exists to all someone knows can exist. That's two claims now.
You
Anyone have a bullet?
just got me to change it for my. You said you weren't happy with I, so I'm trying to. How would you put it?
No, it's not about how I would put it. You just gone from trying to get rid of the I to a new knowledge claim. You said all we
Because
can do.
you were complaining about I. Me saying I.
It's not a complaint.
Yeah,
It's pointing
you're
out-
still not happy.
It's not a complaint. It's pointing out the smuggle. You're smuggling in I, and then you move to a new knowledge claim. In fact, a universal knowledge claim about all we can know, which is an additional claim.
We don't all think that, Lyle.
Do you agree that something exists?
Wildheart. I'm trying to get to how you're smuggling in the I. It doesn't even matter in this conversation. You're doing it all the time on your own channel and so forth. You're saying, all I know is that something exists. How is the I getting in there?
All anyone can know for certain is that something exists.
Now you've got a new claim about all people. You've got a
Because
universal.
you just asked me to change it.
I know. But you walk into
Then you asked to change it. That's why I changed it.
if I ask you to justify it and you want to change it and you make a new knowledge claim, albeit a universal knowledge claim, that's still you making that claim.
So do we agree that something exists?
You can't get out of the problem.
No, I've answered all your questions as honestly as I
You
can.
haven't made a coherent
Do
point.
you agree that something exists?
See, I mean, it is funny because this is what Wildheart does. He can't get out of his own problem, so he wants to make it a problem for me.
This is just signing Wildheart. You know now how to sense it like a Jedi.
Okay,
and
let
just
me move
ignore
on
it.
for you guys.
Well,
My point is
you
back
know,
to the lesson. My point is that when God says, when Wildheart says God will justify God, when he negates that, how could he even have the knowledge to possibly say that isn't so?
This is another
Right.
shame
I'm
we
not
do
sure what
insult
I'm
this
doing right
guy
now.
with questions.
Do-
Think about it.
JG,
Think about it.
JG, do you
He's saying
believe that
something exists, and then he's going, "Oh well, God will justify God." That's not right. How can he do that?
because I don't believe that God exists? How can I honestly say that God will justify God if I don't believe that God exists?
Again,
That's
you're
what I'm
smuggling in the
saying.
eye. You're smuggling in knowledge and understanding about
You're
God.
not a smuggler, Wildheart.
No,
Man,
I'm
you
just
guys
saying that
shouldn't be fighting me on this. You should let it play out. I'm
It's-
working with what Ace is bringing forth, showing that Wildheart has no justification to say
it's
God.
not a knowledge. It's not a knowledge claim. I'm not saying that I know that God will not justify
Who is
God.
this I you keep referring to? How did he get
Me,
there?
me.
Okay,
Mike,
so something
yeah.
exists, and now you have this I that's proclaiming things.
Yeah, that's all I've got to work with. If I can't use I, then I'm pretty much stuck. Yeah,
You're skipping steps, brother. You're smuggling the I in.
right. From my point of view, is that better? All I've got to work with is my brain and my opinion. I don't get your point.
Okay, so something exists, and then all of a sudden, brain and opinion exists when you want it to.
Brain in the back, you say.
You start
Sometimes
with
it helps repeating it, doesn't it, Wildheart? Just like 2 or 3 times. Say it 2 or 3 times back to yourself, whatever you ask.
Wildheart, if I call you an idiot long enough, you'll probably believe it eventually, right?
Yeah. I'm
That's
pretty
what
much
this whole conversation sounds like. Jesus Christ.
oh, you guys, I'm trying to help out Ace's case here. If you'll see it for
You
what
should
it's worth.
stop trying because it's not helping.
Well,
Well,
I mean, you might not be understanding what I'm doing here, Seth. But it's,
JJ,
I don't
you
think you have a goal in mind other than to belittle people and make them feel stupid.
I'm not trying. It's not belittling Wildheart. We go back and forth with these philosophical discussions all the time, and he's saying God will justify God is wrong, right?
I'm not wrong. That's where you're going wrong. And I never. It wasn't a knowledge claim. I'm saying that I believe it's wrong because I don't believe in God.
right.
I'm not saying that I know that God doesn't exist, and I know that God will not justify God. I'm
Remember, he's
saying
an
that
atheist.
I really believe. You're making it into a knowledge claim, and that is not what I said.
Thank you for that clarification. Again, you brought in the I, unjustified.
So I can't use I. So you're asking for my opinion on something, but I can't use I.
I'm trying to point out your autonomous reasoning, as you would call it. You're saying something exists. You can't even say the I, and then when you have conversations, you're always saying I this, I that. I believe this. It's my opinion.
Yeah. Because I don't think you need 100% certainty to know things, to believe things.
You still haven't justified how you took the step from existence into the I and the opinion.
I believe that I exist. I don't know that I exist.
Okay, thank you for that.
To 100% certainty.
Oh man, how'd you like to wake up to that every morning and answer them questions? Might be a good thing. Don't take it as bad.
Has that solved it?
Man.
Oh yeah, JG as well. Check the private chat. There's a couple of videos there you might like. I've been doing my homework on the ontological argument.
We just witnessed another miracle.
All
The
the
thing that doesn't know if he exists or not is giving me reference points.
That's another
Video.
sign, Wildheart. Just let it go.
This is
Can't
incredible.
have it.
Oh,
I mean,
just like that. Like them, that's all.
When we witness faith and miracles on this channel, I think it should be pointed out.
I just witnessed a brick wall talk to a door.
Look, Seth, I know you don't like me, but sometimes I'm on your side, brother.
No, I have no sides.
Really? You don't side with the Universalists?
What's a universalist?
What's a Universalist? God knows.
How you like our living room, JG?
No, I like it. I appreciate you guys letting me speak. I'll stop
You
talking.
see the
now.
new picture we got hanging up here on the left side.
Huh. This is an inside joke.
I'm just checking to see if you really like our living room or not. If you can see everything.
Right. The picture says, welcome to the He-Man Woman Haters Club.
Oh, you did? Little rascals.
Girls are the bunk.
Oh man. You guys are gonna get it from a few of them.
Get what?
Kisses.
That's right. You think we're stupid?
Not by their own volition.
Oh, of course.
Well, how would that work?
Well, they hike. They throw. I got to carry me some sharp pointed sticks when I get going with the whole Women Haters Club.
So, Gigi, how did you like this essay? How could I improve it?
Hmm.
Do you need to hear it again?
No.
That was fairly emphatic.
Well, how many times you read it today?
I think 3 or 4.
Okay, then.
Repetition is the mother of learning, and who doesn't need to learn?
I'll check those out, Pi. I saw that machine name and everything, but you also could build one. So I was wondering if there's anyone for cheap.
Yeah, Wild Heart, I'll critique that video. I mean, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'll put it on and start making some assertions based on what those dudes are saying. Those are about that's about the apex of the philosophical community for the atheists right there.
Yeah, Alex Malpass and Ozymandias. Yeah, I watched it this morning. It is very good.
Yeah, they all go to Malpass after they talk to Jay Dyer. I've seen Ask Yourself do it. I've seen Matt Dillahunty do it, and I've seen Derek from Myth Vision recently do it.
I think that's just because Alex Malpass had the first kind of debate with him, so they asked him because he had the same problems with Jay Dyer.
Yeah,
he basically didn't make an argument.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. They missed the argument. It comes down to epistemic justification, which is what the atheist never has.
No, but he never made an actual argument. There was no premise conclusion, or no matter how many premises.
Actually, he puts
he never state the premises clearly.
I'm giving you grants right now by speaking to the brain in the vat that's existing, by the way. But anyway, he actually has a transcendental argument, which is neither inductive or deductive. He puts it in a deductive syllogism for convenience. So you're incorrect in your assertion.
No, well, according to that video, Ozymandias says that all transcendental arguments are deductive, and Jay Dyer said that it's not a deductive argument.
It isn't,
according to him.
Well, then you've already pointed. That's great. That's where they're wrong. It's a different style of argumentation altogether.
Yeah. But according to that,
they really don't even know that. Malpass really doesn't even know that yet.
No, Ozymandias said that it isn't necessarily a deductive argument, and Jay Dyer claimed that it's not a deductive argument. All transcendental arguments are deductive.
Okay, so you just went back on saying, "Oh, yeah, that's right," to now they're deductive.
That's as far as I know. Yeah, that is what the video says. Yeah.
So when that answer is proven wrong,
yeah, I'm happy to be proven wrong. I'm just telling you what I know at the moment.
Right. Well, you don't know it.
Not to 100% certainty, but that's most people don't require that for knowledge, as you know. As you know, see what I didn't mean to do that, but see what I did though. Yeah, most people don't require 100% certainty for knowledge, as you know. You know, that's fine.
He did his homework. He watched the video.
Oh, Nika, come back with me with your counter arguments.
You don't even understand the argument.
There's another sign there, Wildheart. Just let it go.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sign away.
Actually, I've spoke to Ozymandias, only in text, but he's been around this kind of community for about as long or longer than I have, which is about 20 years. So,
Ooh.
yeah, I do know him. I've spoke to him, and he is up on his philosophy, as well as Alex Malpass as well. Yeah. So
They base their discussions on
upbringing.
agreements, dialectics. They need you to agree with them in order to move forward. Someone like Jay Dyer doesn't agree with them from the beginning, so they can't move forward with them. But he does have a stated argument, a transcendental argument, so they have to move to try to do what other philosophers have tried to do. 50, 70 years ago to Van Til is try to dismiss the transcendental arguments, which basically comes down to I don't like them. So that's what.
no, they weren't trying to dismiss the transcendental arguments. They were saying that Jay Dyer, in particular, didn't actually make. He said like premise one, and then went down a rabbit hole into something else, and he never got back to premise two or conclusion. I think
Trying
that
to
was-
This whole time, I thought the transcendental argument was a ship that sunk in the same time the Titanic, but was just overshadowed by the Titanic press. Isn't that
What
funny?
is the- what
How
is
are
the
we doing the
transcendental
same
argument?
thing, dude? That's hilarious.
What transcendental argument are you talking about, Kate?
The ship that went down, but you're talking about another one. I'm just saying it's interesting.
What transcendental argument?
Well, you wouldn't know about it
we
because
got-
the Titanic is what you know about it because
We got another Sean Eagle here.
yeah, it took over the press. The
What I think we
Titanic
have
was
here is
gone.
a failure to communicate.
Everyone's forgot about the transcendental argument. Is what I'm trying to say, but it's being revived.
What is
right
the
here on
transcendental
A.
argument? What is the transcendental
Keep
argument?
going. We're learning. We're learning. Us nobodies out here. We're learning.
Actually, there is no transcendental argument. Transcendental argument is like a category of arguments. There are different ones, I think. Is that right? Yeah.
Right.
There
So
is-
the philosophers like Hoover, Dewey Weird, and Frame try to dismiss transcendentals and other people with being uninteresting or they don't like it ultimately. But it doesn't actually dismiss it or make it invalid. It's just I don't like it.
I don't think you can talk about those people with a T word like that on YouTube freely like that, JG.
What
They do come up with arguments.
Something, you
against
know
it.
what you said.
They don't just say that they don't like it. They do
no,
come
they
up
don't
with-
say it outright because that would be damning to their alleged points. If they actually just said they don't like it, that wouldn't be helpful to
But
making
they do actually come up with valid arguments against it.
it's
That's what I'm
different.
saying.
I understand.
Well,
I mean, I've watched
that doesn't mean that they just don't like it, and that's why they actually come up with valid arguments against it. That doesn't mean they just don't like the argument. You have to address the points they come up with. Do you know what I mean? You can't just say, "Oh yeah, they're just dismissing it because they don't."
Well,
like it.
I'm pointing out something. I'm pointing out the conclusion of trying to address it through their line of reasoning and ultimately dismissing it can be broken down to I don't like it.
Are you grouping
but
all
they
transcendentals
dismiss it.
up in the same category?
Kate, I'm not sure you know what we're talking about.
Kate, I have no idea what they're talking about.
You guys
kind of
go ahead,
question
go
that
back
about
to
you
the-
too, JG.
What about like Christ and Him crucified? What about that?
And
Guys,
ascended.
go back to the law of
Yeah.
faith. I don't want to take any more time.
Sounds like I'm listening to a real life Beck song lyric being created right now.
Yes, tell us about your feelings.
I don't know what I'm listening to, but I'm here on Ace Theo's channel. That's nice.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's, you can carry on the rule. So,
God is one.
And that answers a lot of questions, doesn't it?
Sure does.
I brought an end to all the I questions that were just presented. I need to go pee. And I am not going to pee in my pants because I am going to pee in the toilet.
Amazing.
how dare you use the word I? How very dare you?
Well, I mean, that's a good point on the universalist perspective. God's going to
Such
pee.
vanity.
God just went to take a leak.
Wait till the kid's older or has had the appropriate amount of drinks. He won't be able to say that anymore.
Yeah.
What he's done in his pants.
He'll be saying, my diaper's full. I got to do a change.
Them photos. Wow.
Boy, this party really died.
Apparently everything came out okay, right, Seth?
I missed. I'm going to hell
You missed the mark.
unless God can save me.
I'm sure you did it by your own free will.
And Seth, on my card too, I'm not into glitter, but you can do glue with sawdust.
That's good for filling holes.
Well, you can make like little rope, but you can make like, you know, you can be creative and make like a rope look, you know, with the glue, you put it on just right, like
Yeah.
a rope, and then you put the sawdust
I'll-
over it,
I'll
shake it.
show you here's what I drew. Hard to see on that time.
I'm just trying to make it less
Blow it
morbid
up.
that we're probably sitting here watching me work
Try
with
it
some
again there,
gentleman's
Seth.
gravestone that's going to be
Oh,
representing
mercy.
him for the rest of
We can
his
get some
life.
lighting on there.
Happy birthday.
I just spent time coloring that little. I don't even know what that thing is. My little chamber of secrets.
Wildheart, y'all full up now on your JG compliments for the day. You feel better about yourself?
He took off.
Did he? Oh, I was looking at the
All
wrong.
right, Peace.
There he is.
Wildheart likes it. Wildheart, don't you like these discussions?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I don't get angry or upset or anything. Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine, he said. It's fine.
Sounds like a relationship. I'm glad
And
we-
now we are in for a treat. Preterist is going to read the essay to us.
Yeah. Let's
And
do
it
it.
is time for me to skedaddle. It's been fun, y'all.
Adios,
You guys
Cade.
have a great day.
Adios, Kate.
It's good.
Thanks,
We'll
Ace.
see you.
How about Cade?
Happy
Good to
trails
see you
to
in here today, brother.
Same.
Right when I got here, you had to leave. How unfortunate.
He had
Desert
talked
Crow.
about it before. It's not anything personal.
All right. So starting from the excerpt up there,
Yes.
Romans 3, 17 through 30, or well, 27 through 30. Where then is boasting? It is debarred through what law? Of works? No, but through faith's law. For we are reckoning a man to be justified by faith. Note, whose faith? Christ's faith, apart from works of law. Or is he God of the Jews only? Is he not the God of the nations also? Yes, of the nations also. So be that God is one. So Sunday morning, 7 a.m., September 1st. It's funny how you find and see what you're looking for, dear friend. When I drove a Corvette back in the 1970s, I saw Corvettes everywhere. Later, when I drove a Harley, I saw other motorcycles everywhere. I was riding with my best friend in the 1980s in his truck. He was a tree trimmer. We almost had a traffic accident with another tree trimmer truck. My friend said, "Will you look at that? Tree trimmers are everywhere." Well, it turns out that even in our conversations about God, if you're looking for an angle, you most certainly can find it in the Bible. Among our grace pals, we see grace everywhere, and we explore the full meaning of grace as best we can. But our opposers come along, and they love law so much they can find it everywhere, even where you think it cannot be. Check it out, Romans 3:28 is talking about law as in a list of things you must do or must not do. It's more like a law of gravity or the so-called law of attraction. The law of faith has nothing to do with how you behave and the rewards you get from behaving right, nor the punishments you get from misbehaving. No, the proof is nearby. See verse 27. If the law of faith were anywhere near a law, as in something you must do or not do, then verse 27 would be nonsensical and entirely different. Verse 27 says, where then is boasting? If the law of faith were about us, our behavior, then most certainly we could boast. But the law of faith